Welcome, Sandhu sir. It's absolutely exciting for us to have you in Chicago, right? I think big fan, obviously, from the 1983 World Cup and all the history that comes from there, and we all are very thrilled to have you right in Chicago at the right time, right? So tell us, how come in Chicago? What brings you here?
Chicago, I Sadiq he met me in Bombay
Okay.
during a Ranji game. So he said, I told him that I am going to Toledo. So he said, oh, Toledo, then there's a Chicago, we have an indoor this and this, so much facilities. He was talking about it. So I said, okay, I don't mind going there for a week. So then he gave me Mehul's number, and then Mehul contacted me, and that's how it
That's awesome.
materialized.
क्योंकि very few people would have expected, right? In Chicago, we had a 1 week of camp for pace bowling and for spin
Spin,
bowling, right? So, I mean, you have a lot of history when it comes to coaching, right? Up a National Cricket Academy and बाकी सारे activities. तो what जनता को usually 1983 World Cup का जो history है वो काफ़ी कुछ cover हो गया, right? In the last 40 years plus now. आई एम वेरी इंटरेस्टेड इन आपका यूथ, राइट? आपका बचपन जब आप इधर आए और बच्चे लोग को खेलते हुए देखे, तो आपका जो यूथ क्रिकेटिंग एज था, आपको क्या मेमोरीज है उसमें?
I was more of a tennis ball player.
ओके.
I loved playing tennis ball cricket when I was a small kid. So most of the time, I didn't play leather ball cricket till I was, I think, 17.
ओके.
That was the first time I went for his tryouts, for under 18 tryouts and Baba Shiddev was the coach there at that time. I went there because all my friends were going there,
ओके.
so there was no one to play with me.
राइट.
So I also went along with them, and I got selected, and I was bowling off spinner at that time.
ओके.
And I was not interested in leather ball cricket. I was just going for fun, and that's how it started. And then next year, Achrekar sir came in. So again, I was selected. So, but I was still not interested. Leather ball cricket. I was happy with playing tennis ball cricket, but I was at that time in school. I was a better badminton player.
ओके.
If I had continued with badminton, I would have played for India. In badminton, I was so good. I was very natural. Even now, if you give me a racket, I can still hit the shuttle where I want it to go. Only thing is, no, I'm not that fit now. Move around, but I have that natural skill of badminton.
ओके.
But then I went to college, so I failed in inter-science.
ओके.
So I had to reappear in October.
Huh.
As you know, in India, I reappeared in October, and then for 6 months I had nothing else to do. So I started playing cricket,
ओके.
and I was bowling off spinners at that time still. But then Achrekar saw me bowling pace in one of the game. Our pace bowler didn't turn up, so I said, okay, give me, I'll bowl pace. So I bowled pace without practice. I just bowled pace, and I picked up wickets, and Achrekar had seen me. So he said, you continue with pace. You
Okay.
got a natural in-swinger, you develop that. Maybe I was quite tall, means I was nearly 5'11", 5'6" at that time. So he said, your in-swinger is good, maybe looking at my height and my physique and my background as Sardar, so
Right.
okay. So I started bowling pace, practicing pace as well as off-spin.
Okay.
Then I went for a selection, tryouts for under 22 for
Okay.
Mumbai Cricket Association. So I got selected, and I was a standby in under 22 as an off-spinner.
Okay.
Atle was another bowler who is now an actor, Marathi stage actor, and I think he's worked in some movies also.
Okay.
So Atle was picked ahead of me, and I was not picked. But next year we were playing University, and that's where I got selected for University. I sent my name as a spinner
Okay.
because as a pacer we had 6 fast bowlers who were very good, and I was not close to them. I was behind them. So I said I won't get selected as a pace bowler, so better go as a off spinner. So off spinner the competition was less, so I got picked. And Ravi Shastri was another spinner, and we had a Parsana
Okay.
from Bombay, Prasanna
Okay.
Nadkarni. So he was there. He was a third spinner.
Acha.
So I used to turn a ball a lot at that time, and I used to bat. Okay. So that's how it's all started. So I, from pace spin bowler, then I played university in 78, 79, and 80, 81. I'm playing for Bombay as a pace bowler.
Wow. That's
So in 1 year time, I overtook all other who were ahead of me.
amazing.
So because I used to practice in the morning, then again in the afternoon, I used to carry my bag and see who will give me a new ball to bowl. So there was a lot of office teams who were practicing in the afternoon. So they gave new ball to me. So I started bowling with the new ball, and so bowled again 1.5 hour in the evening as well. And that's how it
So
started.
this transition from you to spin bowling, say pace bowling, so Achrekar sir kind of spotted that ability and that talent, right? And then उन्होंने आपको coaching भी दिया कि how was that? वो कैसा था?
See, Achrekar was more of a batting coach.
Okay.
Batting and wicket keeping. He was very good. For batting, he was very good. And wicket keeping was very good. So he never interfered in, because he was not that, he didn't have that kind of knowledge to coach a pace bowler or a bowler. So he never came and gave me any instruction. The only instruction was to the captain that make the Sardar bold. Don't change him in a practice game. We used to play a lot of practice game during weekdays. So the instruction to the captain was that you don't stop him.
Okay.
Let him bowl till he is tired or he is hit very badly. And I used to end up bowling 20 to 25 overs in a day.
Wow.
And that too continuously in a 45-50 over game.
Yep.
From one end I was bowling continuously.
In the Bombay heat and humidity.
That's okay. I was fit. I never felt bowling. I enjoyed.
Okay.
So when you are enjoying, you don't feel tired.
सही है.
So I was enjoying, and so I never felt tired. So I continued bowling, and that's how my improvement came in.
So that was up to जब 22 years के थे, right? Almost around that time.
23, yeah.
23. And then so that was also the वो time ऐसा भी था कि क्रिकेट उतना पॉपुलर, मतलब हॉकी ज़्यादा पॉपुलर था, डायरेक्ट वो टाइम में.
एक मिनट यहाँ. Let me. I think when I was with Achrekar, when I failed and when I cleared inter science, I didn't get admission in engineering.
Okay.
I wanted to become an engineer because my school background was engineering school.
Okay.
But then in college, because of I didn't get admission in engineering college, so I switched playing cricket and switched to arts. I did political science, economics, and logic.
Which college?
Jhunjhunwala College. Okay. I was in Khalsa College earlier. Then I switched to Jhunjhunwala because Jhunjhunwala had a good team.
Okay.
And they had a good coach also, Mr. Hemud Alvi. He played for Railways.
Okay.
And he was a good swing bowler. So I wanted to learn the art of swing bowling. So I switched to Jhunjhunwala College. And at that time, Hemud Alvi sir used to bowl in the nets. So I used to bowl behind him. So I was watching what he is doing with the ball and what action, which action he is bowling. So I started following him. And in 6 months time, I was good. I could move the ball both ways. Earlier I had only in swinger, then I started moving the ball both ways. So that's how it started.
Okay.
And then played university still. At that time I was bowling pace and I was also bowling off spin. But
Acha.
Yeah, that.
Oh wow.
And in 80-81 I played Wills Trophy one day game. under Sunil Gavaskar. First game at Delhi, Firozshah Kotla ground, and I picked up 3 wickets.
Okay.
So Firozshah Kotla ground became my favorite ground. All pace bowlers were, when they had to bowl on Firozshah Kotla, they were not happy. But I was very happy. And every time I bowled there, I picked wickets.
What was that magic there?
I don't know. I was a mover of the ball, so that one thing, and the pitch was very flat.
Okay.
On that flat wicket, I picked up in an Irani trophy game against Delhi. I picked up against Bombay versus rest of India game.
Okay.
In 82. I picked up 7 wickets or 9 wickets in a game. 9 wickets in a game.
Wow. That's a 60 over one day match. There was 60 overs, Kabhi?
5-day game.
5-day game. Test
5-day
match.
game.
Okay.
Not test match. It's a 4 to 5-day game.
Okay.
Irani Trophy is a 4-day game.
Okay.
So I picked up 9 wickets in a game. And I got all top batsmen out. And the selectors were there watching. So I got picked for Indian team from that performance.
That transition of like getting picked to Indian team at that time, did you expect that at that time? Although you knew you performed well, but
so I was bowling well. I was playing Ranji Trophy for Mumbai in 80-81 season. I was the highest wicket taker for Bombay at that time. And in the finals of Ranji Trophy, when all the stars were away, Eknath Solkar was the captain and Ashok Mankad was our mentor.
Okay.
So, in the finals, there was some 20,000 crowd at Wankhede. And against Delhi, we were playing against Delhi. And I started bowling and I picked wickets every over. And myself and Suru Naik, we ran through the side.
Okay.
And on that day, I ended up bowling continuously till tea time.
Wow.
Until evening, I had bowled 28 overs on the trot.
Wow. What that's different level of fitness.
And next day morning, I bowled the first over and we got them all out. They were 9 down on that day.
Okay.
So they were all out. So I bowled 29 overs, out of which 28 overs were on the trot.
So ये जो fitness जो चाहिए to play that level of extent, तो ये कहाँ से आया? So अभी तो of course there's a lot of काफी science है अभी for pace bowlers आजकल के ज़माने में, मगर वो time में it was just raw strength, right?
So it was more of a lifestyle, I'll say. Our lifestyle was that we used to play football, all sports.
Okay.
And there was a lot of running and chore police games and all those cop and thief robbers game and all those, where a lot of running, natural running. You could jump from the first floor down. So climbing the trees was fun, getting to the top of the tree and sitting there, doing nothing, just having fun. So that was fun for us. But in the process, it made us stronger, physically stronger.
Yeah.
In summer, I used to go to village, and there I used to work in the fields. So that also made me stronger because my cousins were there working. So I used to join them to have fun.
ये बड़ा difference है, right? So आजकल के, for example, pace bowl, nothing. All kudos to them also. They bowl like maybe if you take T20, right? So 4 overs max. Maybe they won't even bowl the entire quota. आजकल के T20 में. But to imagine bowling 28 overs even in today's test match in a day, it's just almost not allowed, right, by the coaches?
No, it's not allowed. Maybe they come into the fast bowling category and they have not bowled enough during their initial years. See, I had bowled, once I played 14 days continuous game.
Wow.
And every day I was bowling 20 to 25 overs on the trot. Every day. So on the last day, I was dead tired and I stopped. And then something went, there was a alteration in the, some fight happened in the during the game. So I said, told the captain that they had to score 130 runs something. So they were 90 for 3 wickets. I said, give me the ball again. I took the ball from the captain and I bowled and got them out in 120.
Wow.
And on that day, I used to walk 100 meters and used to sit down. And 100-meter walk till station was nearly 1.5 kilometers. That's a VGTI college. From there, I had to walk because there's no money to go by taxi or cab. So I had to walk. So every 100 to 200 meter, I used to sit down. I was so tired.
Yeah.
And when I went home, I just hit the bed straight away. No shower, nothing. First rest, then we'll see.
And what time khana kaisa tha after all this?
I was eating all home cooked,
regular
food.
home
cooked food.
Yeah.
Most of the time vegetarian at home.
Okay.
Only on Sunday we used to have mutton.
Okay.
So that was the process. And see, Punjabi food have lot of sprouts, not sprouts, I'll say pulses and kala chana.
Kabuli kala chana.
Kala chana, not Kabuli chana is waste of.
Okay.
Kabuli black
chickpeas. Okay.
That's full of protein.
Okay.
Because of the horse eat.
Right.
That and it becomes stronger. So why not human being? So that was our way of thinking at that time. So it worked, and I was quite naturally strong.
Oh, so strong. Typical Punjabi.
Yeah, typical Punjabi.
Yeah. So, so let's go back to getting selected to the World Cup at that time, right? So ये जो 1980 जब selection हुआ आपका, so how was it? आपको पता कैसे चला कि selection हुआ? Call आया या वो time पे telegram आया? How did that happen?
See, I was selected for Pakistan tour first.
Okay.
82. We went to Pakistan. I did well there in Pakistan. Then I was picked for the West Indies tour. In 15 days time, we had to go to West Indies.
Okay.
After coming back from Pakistan. So we went to West Indies. And West Indies, again, in the first test match, I got 68 something runs.
Oh.
And in Trinidad test match, I got 3 wickets and got both the openers out on 0. Haynes and Gordon both out on 0. And I did decently well in Test cricket, and even in one-day game I bowled well. So that's how I got picked for the World Cup.
Okay.
So
and you followed that Greenwich wicket in the 83 World Cup also.
Yeah, that was later.
Ah.
But the thing was that I never bothered about selection.
Okay.
So I used to focus on what I have to do.
Perfect.
No? I have to go there and perform. Let the selector do their job. So till now, I don't remember who the selectors are. Now I remember at least 4 of them. But earlier when I was playing, I hardly knew who the selectors were.
Right.
I met only Bishan Bedi.
Okay.
Because we played against him, and being a Sikh, we used to speak in Punjabi during the game. Otherwise, I hardly met the other selectors or knew them.
Right.
Knew about them. So I never bothered about selectors. So
जाके खेलना है, perform करना है,
I will perform, go out there and perform and win the game. That was my attitude.
Right.
So that's how it is.
That's a very क्योंकि आजकल it was even in India right now, of course, number of talented kids, youth players is 10 times, right? And it's a fish market in terms of selection and proving yourself every time consistently. एक series अगर खराब गया, then your position is under threat, right? So जो World Cup का जो preparation था, so we saw काफी कुछ देखा हमने. 83 movie हम लोग सबके लिए तो it was eye opener, right? And मुझे लगा कि वो 83 movie अच्छा बनना ज़रूरी था to understand cricket वो ज़माने में कैसा था compared to अभी कैसा है. But from a camp perspective, preparation to World Cup, right? So आप लोग कुछ camp हुआ कि how was that organized?
No camps.
No camps.
No camps. Before the World Cup, we had played 6 months of cricket together. Most of them were there, except Roger was not there and Kirti was not there. Rest of us were the same.
Okay.
So we have already played 2 tough series. So there was a one month gap between West Indies tour and the World Cup. So each one was practicing in his own place and preparing in his own way. So I was working with Rashtra Chemical and Fertilizers. So I went to that ground and I used to bowl there, and wherever I found to bowl, I used to bowl, and we didn't have a camp sort of thing, nothing. Now when we went for the World Cup in England, we had a practice session at Lord's, 2 or 3 practice session at Lord's, and then we played few practice games. I think 3 or 4 practice games, out of which we lost 3 practice games. We won only 1 against Sri Lanka.
Right.
So
what was the mahal at that time within the team? कि expectations क्या था वो time पे? Did anybody, obviously from the movie at least we understand, but वो movie में वो क्या नहीं है जो आप बता सकते हैं in terms of the team environment?
See, team, we were happy being together, but at the back of our mind, we knew that we will do well in this World Cup. Because we have seen those 2 tough series, played against good sides, and we were confident that we will do well, much better than what we had done earlier in the 2 previous World Cup. So we were confident we will do well. But winning the World Cup was not on our mind.
Which is amazing. Right?
But when somebody had interviewed me in Bombay from Daily Telegraph, so I said if our batsmen can get 240 to 250 runs, we got a good chance to do well in this World Cup. We'll do well. So he said, why? Because I said, English condition, all of us, 4 fast bowlers, we are all good seamer of the ball, swing and seam. We're good at swinging and seaming the ball. And Mohinder is another 5th bowler. So we know those conditions suits us.
Right.
So that's why I'm confident about bowling side. That we will do well because of the bowlers. But our batsmen should get around 240 to 250 runs.
And you were right. It was in the end the bowling strength in the bowling side came very handy. And after 83, right, the journey from 83 till now, and you have done up बहुत सारी चीज़ में involve है from grassroots level. मैं इसलिए ये पूछ रहा हूँ क्योंकि right now the USA cricket का जो status and shape है, right, it's obviously not even close to 83 in India at that time, but the popularity of the sport before 83 in India is very similar to here, where it's like काफी grassroots level में हो रहा है, but disjointed. Right? So how did 83 World Cup push that whole centralization of managing, administration, funds? How did that evolve after 83 World Cup?
83 was a turning point. So see, when you win a big tournament, the sponsor also starts backing you up. Till the time you don't win, no sponsor will come forward.
Correct.
Because he wants mileage out of whatever money he is putting in. Fair. So from that perspective, I think 83 win was a big turning point in Indian cricket. And we had a good administrator who brought Reliance Cup.
Yes.
Brought World Cup to India, the next World Cup, and then Reliance backed them up. I think it was 87.
87, yes.
And Reliance, it was called Reliance World Cup.
Correct.
So that's how the things started moving in that direction, that the sponsors started looking at the Indian cricket. And I'll give a lot of credit to the administrators of that time, because they encashed that 83 win to make BCCI what it is today.
Absolutely. Yes.
So I think it was their vision, their commitment to, and they sincerely went in marketing the game well in India.
I've obviously heard and read that the 83 win made us so confident about hosting the Reliance World Cup in 87. right? And Reliance coming forward to support in terms of the money and sponsorship played a huge deal in turning around India's cricket. Because every other board was काफ़ी doubtful थे कि हम लोग host कर सकते हैं कि नहीं.
Yeah. See, now England, I think England was a good place to play the World Cup, but they somehow didn't wanted it. But India came forward and hosted the World Cup, and they did a brilliant job of organizing the World Cup, and that helped. I think that was another turning point financially. Reliance Cup was a turning point for BCCI.
Right.
For cricket, it was '83 World Cup. For people started believing that we can do well on a big stage. Cricketers started dreaming that they will do well. All the industrialists and the business people, they started thinking, okay, Indians can do well.
Yes.
So that the whole belief system of the country went up.
Correct.
After that win.
Yep.
So that's why everyone remembers what they are doing at that time. Most of them who had seen the World Cup or who have heard it on the commentary, they come and tell us, okay, you know what we were doing? We were doing this and this. They are telling their own story, how they watched the World Cup. So it played a huge role in the psyche of Indian.
Absolutely, it made us more confident.
Yeah.
Right, and in '87 World Cup was also where the television rights story changed.
Yeah.
Right. पहले I think cricket board पैसा देते थे दूरदर्शन को.
Now it's other way around. Now the private television came in and the market opened. So a lot of credit will go to Mr. Dalmia and late Mr. Dalmia and Bindra. They marketed. They took it to the next level. Then came ICL, and then ICL after ICL started and they made T20 popular. So then IPL happened.
Yeah.
So they took it to the next level.
Yes. So ये interesting है क्योंकि 87 around that time, great milestone for BCCI. Did people at that time, cricketers at that time, even foresee something like IPL 20-30 years later?
Not in 87. But maybe when ICL happened, in 2 years, I was also involved in ICL. When ICL happened, then BCCI realized that there's a lot of potential in T20 game. So they brought in IPL.
Yep.
And that's how...
So, but did players even think that we would move from 50 overs to 20 overs in such a short format? I'm talking in the early 90s when even white ball Kerry Packer story evolved. All those. See, it was an interesting phase from that 87 to 1992. It was very interesting phase for cricket, right? Where the Kerry Packer white ball playing under the lights came up, and from India, Sachin showed up.
Yeah, see, not somebody or the other will show up because there's so much talent in India that somebody will come up. Right. Now, when Sachin was playing, we were thinking of who's the next. Now we have we have Virat. We have Rohit.
Yes, we are fully loaded.
Yeah. And there are other youngsters are waiting in the wings.
Yes.
So the talent will come up. So that's not a...
But the game has moved from more of a bowling dominated game, especially pace bowling dominated game, to a very batting centric game. Do you think so? What's your thought on that?
No, it's only in T20 you're seeing that. In Test cricket, I don't give much credit to thought to T20. T20 is just for fun. It's a television game. It's only for television. If the game gets over in 15 overs, the television guy will lose money.
Right.
So the pitches are prepared.
Yes,
flat
tracks.
So that the game goes to the 40th over.
Yeah.
So they will make money.
Yes.
If they make money, they will give the money to the players and to the board. So everyone is making money. So it's it's like for me T20 is now fast food.
Right.
Now bel puri,
Sahi baat hai.
all this fast food.
हाँ.
Now it's good for some. At that moment you love that taste, but it's not a healthy food.
मैं घर जाके दाल चावल.
It's not a healthy food.
Right.
See, Test cricket is a healthy food.
Absolutely.
For the game. Test cricket is the real test of temperament, skills, everything. The changing conditions. Now, you see the game, T20 game. After 2 days, you don't remember what done.
100%.
It just evaporates.
Yep. Absolutely.
Its sell by date is very short.
Yes.
But Test cricket, if somebody does well in Test cricket, it's remembered for a long time.
Absolutely, 100%. Because I'll tell you, IPL this year, 2024, for those who are following, hitting 200, 220, 240 is the new 200, almost, in a 20-over match. And that is being chased, right? And if you go and ask most of the people what happened 2-3 games back, they won't tell you a story. But when we go and ask, how did, for example, at least when I was test match, how did Dravid and Lakshman play in Kolkata innings against Australia to even tie the match, or in Chennai? Those are great stories.
See, Test cricketer will always get respect.
Yes.
Your performance in Test cricket will be remembered for a long time, and they get more respect. Now, T20 will make somebody popular. He's a hero for the day.
Right.
But the memory is short-lived.
Yep.
It's gone.
So
now, Pankaj Tripathi.
Yes.
He made a statement. We were traveling for the movie to Scotland, and we were going by train from London to Glasgow, and we were sitting and chatting. He made one statement. He said, "लोग चर्चित होने को सामर्थ्य समझते हैं." You are in news. That is not success.
Right.
You can be in news for bad reasons also, wrong reasons also.
Yes.
But that is not success. To be in news and being popular, and your name is mentioned on social media and all over the place, doesn't mean that it's an achievement.
Right.
So in one line, he made a big statement.
Absolutely.
लोग चर्चित होने को सामर्थ्य समझते हैं. It's not an achievement.
True. तो ये टेस्ट क्रिकेट बच सकता है? Is there still hope for test cricket?
Yes, Test cricket will not die.
I hope so.
Test cricket will not die. Yeah. Because now the Test cricket is played and it's giving results also. There's a result oriented now.
Yeah.
Everyone is playing to win.
Yeah.
So that's helping.
Yeah. And the Test World Cup is
Test World Cup is on, and so now the games are getting over in 4 days. Earlier the game was not getting over even in 5 days. Now it's getting over in 4 days, 3.5 days,
yes.
3 days, some of the game. Yeah. So maybe the T20 impact is on Test cricket as well on the batsmen, because they have a very short span of concentration. They are not adapting to Test cricket.
Yeah.
They're still in T20 mode playing Test cricket.
Right.
And that's the reason they play bad shots and they get out.
Yeah.
Now, yes, you play aggressive cricket, but now the shot selection has to be.
Yes. And what about the bowlers, right? So all types of bowlers, right? Fast, medium pace, spin, etc. The adapting from T20 to Test in terms of strategy, and it's just completely different, right? So ये bowlers को क्या करना चाहिए to adapt themselves to all three formats of the game, right? How does a quick switch in mindset they need to work on? So as a coach, I'm just thinking, what would be your advice to young folks, right?
See, I'll suggest that you prepare for Test cricket.
Okay.
Because when you're preparing to become a good Test cricketer, you're working on your skills, all your skills, physical skills, mental skills, cricketing skills. because you have to survive for a long time. Now, if you are preparing for that, if you are preparing for a war, the battles can be won.
Fair.
T20 is small battles where you have to bowl 4 overs.
Yes.
But if you are just preparing for T20, then you can't win a war.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Now you are not that fit to win a war.
Right. And you don't have enough tools in your hand.
Tools in your hand to win a war.
Right.
So even in T20, okay, I'll give you another example. Now if Sachin is batting and Sachin plays a bad shot and he gets out, and then a very, very mediocre, ordinary batsman also plays the same shot and gets out. You cannot make out whether he's a great player or an ordinary player.
Yeah. True.
In Test cricket, you can easily make out. But not in T20 because the game is forcing them to play bad shots.
You know what? That's so true. That's can't be. इससे अच्छा कोई बोल नहीं सकता कि game is actually forcing you to play.
Yeah, because this is only for television.
Yeah.
It's just like I went to watch a Detroit versus Chicago Bull match in Detroit, and what I saw in the stadium was entertainment. No,
not artistic. That flavor of it.
Football, the basketball that I watched when Michael Jordan was playing and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was playing or Magic Johnson was playing and all those greats were playing. That basketball was very different than what today's basketball is. It's more commercialized. So when it's more commercialized, the value, maybe the commercial value might be going up, but that skill level, that skills and that flavor of Michael Jordan, you can't see in any of the players here.
You know what actually worries me more about, just as a fan in terms of cricket, is not a big fan of T20 myself. What worries me the most is T10 is coming up, right? And as much as I hate to say this, it is slowly in some corners starting to make news, which is actually a worrying trend, I feel personally, for the sport, right? But anyway, let's actually get back. So for youth cricketers from 15 to 21, 22 in that range, in the US, not India of course, right? In the US, should we play more longer format of the games, right? Whether although T20 is picking up, will make news, जैसा आपने बताया था. Irrespective of all of those things, should we still push for more longer format of the games, 50 over games or 3-day, 4-day games depending on the age group?
I think for American, I don't think Test cricket will be viewed by them because they don't have that kind of patience to stay that long.
Not for the international stage, but to build talent.
So let me come to that. So you won't be playing Test cricket for another 50 to 60 years. It will take 50 to 60 years now for America to get into Test cricket in the longer format. Yes, you can get into shorter format of 50 overs. So you should be training to be these youngsters who are there, say for next 25 years. After 25 years, then some other crop will come in.
Yeah.
So maybe for these guys will be playing only one-day game and T20 game.
Okay.
So they should be preparing themselves to play one-day game.
One-day games and T20.
That is 50 overs game or 45, 50 overs games.
Right.
Okay. I think that light here is so good that you can play 60 over also.
Fair.
But 50 overs is fine. 50 overs. So prepare a player to play 50 overs game.
Okay.
Okay. And that playing T20 is not that difficult for the same bowlers. So for you, your Test cricket is 50 overs.
50 overs. Okay.
You should be aiming for 50 over game, not Test cricket.
Okay.
because Test cricket you are not going to play. So why waste 5 days of your domestic games on playing domestic matches on 5 days, because you're not going to play that. For
So 50
those kids, those kids will not be playing Test cricket
Fair.
for another 50 years. By the time they will be 75 years old,
Right.
70 years old. So they won't be playing. So why prepare them for Test cricket?
Same.
Prepare them for one day game and prepare them for T20 games. That's
Same.
it. Prepare them for one day game and T20 will happen. They will get mature bowling in 50 over game. That's where the maturity will come in. The cricketing skills will come in, and that will help to play a T20 game better.
Okay. So that's a very absolute practical sense, right? So even in the 50 over, right, should we encourage kids to play, when I say kids from 15 to 20 type, more red ball 50 over or white ball 50 over, as just for...
It's difficult to say. I would say red ball is, now you need more concentration. For batsmen need more concentration against red ball. White ball doesn't do much, except the new ball will move around, or maybe it
After
will do
8 overs it's done.
reverse
Yeah.
swing. I don't know how it is. The outfield is so good that it won't get that rough to get the reverse swing. But I think you should be bowling with red balls to enhance your skill. Batting also will improve. The batsman will improve playing against red ball in 50 over game.
Okay.
So since you are playing T20 with white ball, so again their white ball skills will be there. But if they are playing red ball in 50 over game, and maybe some few tournaments they can play with white ball as well. So both can be there.
So let's talk a little bit about the cricketing mindset, right? So mindset of a player during pressure situations, right? What have you seen? आपने क्या देखा among stars, and how did you prepare for big tournaments? What was your preparation, mental preparation for it?
See, if you have done your homework well, if you have worked on your skills, and you start believing that my skills are good, and I'm able to execute those skills at the international level, so then the mindset comes in. But the self-belief has to be very strong. Okay, I can do it. Now, when they are playing a big tournament, if you allow the reputation of the batsman to get into your head, then you are gone. For me, the batsman, whether it is Viv Richard or Clive Lloyd or Gordon Greenidge or any other batsman, great, is just a batsman.
Got it.
And it takes only one ball to get him out.
Fair.
One wicket taking ball to bowl one wicket taking ball to get him out. So I should be focusing on that, what I can do.
Instead of what shots they are going to hit.
If you are bothered about what he will hit me, and then you're gone. If you are scared of getting hit, then you're gone. You are going to get hit because they are great players, but you need only one ball to get them out. Even if they hit you for 2 boundaries or 3 boundaries in an over, and you get him out, fine.
Got it.
So if you see the World Cup final, where Viv Richard came and starts hitting big shots, and he hit Madan Lal, I think 2 or 3 boundaries, and he still said, okay, let me bowl.
Right.
And he bowled because he believed in his ability, and he bowled.
Yes.
And we played a complacent shot or a loose shot, and he got out. He went for a big shot.
Right. That epic catch.
And Kapil, I think that epic catch, no one else would have caught it.
In
except
that
Kapil.
situation.
Yeah. Only Kapil could have reached that catch. And he did it so easily.
Yeah. It's almost like to take those kind of catches in that situation, given World Cup final, and Viv Richards, the importance of the wicket, it's almost that the fielder has to be in a zen mode, right? Like, meaning every noise is blocked out and the concentration level is at its highest.
See, when you're playing a big match, your focus should be on the contest, on that ball that you're going to bowl, or that ball that you're going to face. That's a contest. That's a battle. If your focus is on that battle, then you're not worried about his reputation, the crowd, or the game pressure or game situation. Then you're not worried about them. Your focus is on that contest, that you have to win that contest. It's a battle between ball and bat.
Yeah. Miko, when I look
So,
at...
so,
Sorry.
so the point of pressure doesn't come in. Pressure starts getting into your head when you start looking at the batsman for his reputation, and you watch the crowd, and final, and if we lose the final, what will happen? So what will happen after 45 overs, after the end of, if they score the final runs or you get the final wicket. Then the result is going to happen. The result will happen in future. Or their reputation is built. The player's reputation is built on the past performance. But what is doing today is important.
Yeah.
So if the player is thinking of the past, then is getting the past problem into present, and if he is thinking of the result, then is bringing future anxiety into present and spoiling the present. So the bowler and a batsman has to stay in present, stay with that contest, that one ball contest. He has to focus on one ball at a time, and just that battle has to be won.
Yes.
By ball by ball.
Ball by ball. That's amazing. The two other innings, at least, that I can, in terms of that importance of, at least from a batting perspective, I remember is Tendulkar's Desert Storm against Australia, right? And then Kohli's T20 World Cup semi Pakistan. That what's your thought on those type of innings as to when you were watching it?
So amazing. Now, see, they were in the zone. You have to be in that zone to hit that kind of shot.
Yeah.
It can't happen just like that. You just go there and hit it. They were in a subconscious state of mind.
Yes. Yes.
Conscious state of mind will bring lot of thoughts at that time, and maybe some negative thoughts, and if I hit that shot, I'll get out, and all those worries and anxiety. But that kind of innings are played only when you are in that zone, and that zone happens only in subconscious mind, not the conscious mind.
So is there I'm just could be a really stupid question, but what kind of techniques exist and players practice to deliberately get into that subconscious mind?
No, there's no technique.
Okay.
No, there's no technique.
Or a practice.
They have practiced enough. But those shots, some of the shots they play, it's just instinctive shots. It's not well thought of shots that I'm going to do this and I'll do that and this. At that point, it's just the instinct take over. When you're in that zone, you're not playing consciously, you're playing subconsciously. It's instinctive shots. Consciously, if you try to play, you're bound to make mistake.
Yeah. It's great insights.
It's a just instinct at what that time.
Yeah.
No, instincts take over.
So, I'm also curious to understand like your involvement in movie industry, right? Has been, we have all seen it, but I want to understand what motivated you to kind of enter into that domain, and how is that going? What can we look forward for?
See, my father, Harnam Singh Naz, was a Punjabi writer, and he had written a lot of plays, and we did a lot of plays with Balraj Sani. We did a lot of plays. He was my father's friend, and my father was a communist at that time. So he changed later on, but in our house, when I was a small kid, there's a lot of creative people used to come and discuss writing and stories and all those things. So I never went into that because I never had a good command over English or good command over Punjabi or good command over Hindi. I know the languages.
So typical Bombay where it's like everything
I know the language. I can understand Gujarati. I can understand Rajasthani. I can understand bit of Haryani. I can understand Hindi, Sindhi also. And I can watch lot of Marathi movies.
Okay.
I love Marathi movies and Marathi plays and Marathi comedies. Fantastic. But for me, speaking and having a command over those languages is not my forte.
Okay.
So, that in 2011, Paras Mamre was called me and he said, there's a Hindi movie being made and Akshay Kumar is to play the fast bowler's role. So can you train him? So I said, okay, I'll train him because Paras didn't have the time. Paras is my trainee, who's a bowling coach now with the Indian team. So I said, okay, I'll do it. So I went and met Akshay, and Akshay had all some odd action, all tennis ball action. So I went and spoke to him, and then we started working on his action. And if you see Patiala's, he did a good job. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But with him, he was very, very fit.
Yeah.
And he learned the bowling action very quickly because of the fitness. Then after that, 83 happened. Again, Kapil said, since it started with you, you are into coaching, you be involved.
Okay. So coaching the actors.
So coaching the actors. So Kabir roped me in for training the actors. And we devised a program how to do it and started training them.
So how did that end-to-end approach of from cast selection and then training them, then shooting and shooting, the entire time frame, how long did it take?
Some of the bowlers like Dhairya, Ravi Shastri's was playing Ravi Shastri and Dinkar. They were the first two to come in. There was some 6 months before the shoot started.
Oh, just 6 months before.
6 months.
Okay.
So then Chirag came in. So then one by one they were adding. And then we had trouble finding a wicket keeper.
Okay, yeah.
Kirmani. So lot of audition were done. Yeah. So we rejected many. So then we found Sahil Khattar. He did a good job. And he played cricket.
Acha, okay.
And when I saw his batting, the first shot he played was just like Kirmani. That flicking on drive. So I said, you are natural in batting. So don't worry about batting. You focus on wicket keeping. So we focused more on wicket keeping than on his batting, because in batting there were only 3-4 shots. Couple of shots only. So then we were struggling to get Roger Binney. And many actors were rejected.
Okay, what's the reason?
Because they were not able to do it. Okay. It's a difficult action to do. Then we got audition. One actor came to give audition, and the first ball he bowled, there was an assistant coach, assistant director with me. So I said, this guy will do it. So he said, Balu sir, he bowled only one ball. Bola, no, I have seen what he can do. I'll make him do it. No worry. He will do it. And that was Nishant.
Okay.
Nishant Dhaiya. So he did a brilliant job.
Yeah.
And he's a superb actor.
Okay.
Superb actor. Actually, the role was not that big. But whatever scene that he got, he put life into it.
As an audience, when we were watching that movie, and as someone at least of my age who knows all the players, everybody's action, body language was just as if we were watching the match, including the West Indian players. They were just spot on. Can't get better.
Because a lot of actors were needed when the shot was to be taken. I used to go and speak to them, pump them up, like Viv Richard. That boy was very shy. He was very introvert.
Okay.
So I used to go and tell him that now you're the king of the game. Walk like a king. Think of the lion, how he walks, that grace, that swag of Viv Richard. Get that body language. Look. Your look should kill somebody. Have that look.
Can we talk a little bit about Sir Viv Richards? Your experience of interacting with him during the playing days and otherwise. Tell us about him.
Oh, he is a tremendous character. He gave me, when on my West Indies tour, he gave me 4 cassettes of Bob Marley.
Oh.
And he said, listen to this music, man. This music comes from the heart. And I was a Bob Marley fan. So, after that. And Viv Richard was okay. Means I used to have a lot of chat with him and joke around with him. And he got very friendly with me. I could pull his legs also. I was so friendly. And he didn't mind. He was enjoying that leg pulling. And even after that, if he comes to meet us, he will shake hand with all the players and he will come and hug me. Sandhu, Maman, Sandhu. He will hug me. So that's the kind of relationship that got built during that time. And even today, the same. He's the same.
Do you all meet often or exchange texts and calls?
No, I met him in 19 when we went to shoot in London.
Okay.
So he was there, and so I went to meet him, and he was.
I wonder how Sir Viv Richards would have done in today's IPL.
Oh,
the kind of destruction he would have created.
If he had been playing IPL today, and if was batting, your eyes will only be on Viv Richard. You won't see the non-striker who is batting at the non-striker. Even if he is a legend, your eyes will not see him. You will be watching. You will see only. Your eyes will be only following Viv Richard. That's the kind of impact he would have had.
Yeah.
Oh, he would have had a great impact. Now, same Kapil Dev, Ian Botham, IPL.
Oh, yes.
Sir Gary Sobers. Sir Gary Sobers would have been the best.
Yeah.
Because he could bowl pace, he could bowl swing, he could bowl Chinaman. What else you want? And bat and field anywhere. They were outstanding.
I actually feel so sad for today's generation. Maybe again, as to kind of not missing out on watching the talent that existed then and kind of joining the dots of how it could have translated now. Hadley and Malcolm Marshall, Bishan Singh Bedi ji sir, it's just the list can go on and on.
See, if you see Viv Richard and Sir Gary Sobers and Sunil Gavaskar, they batted against fast bowlers without helmet. And Sir Gary Sobers batted without thigh pad.
Wow.
And with those pimple gloves and that bat which could hardly penetrate in today's cricket 30 yard. And he was caning bowlers at that time. You must see his rest of World versus Australia game, 254. Yeah. The way he has hammered all the bowlers, he was outstanding. And brilliant fielder. He was brilliant in the slip, brilliant in the outfield, anywhere. All-round fielder, same like Viv Richard. All-round, Kapil, same. So they were great. Botham.
Yes.
Same.
So, who would be your yesteryear's players who have never played T20, right? Who would you select in your 11?
It's tough. I've never thought of it.
Let's just brainstorm about it. Who would be your opening batsman?
No point.
No?
The past is gone. So they were great players of their era. When there was no restriction on short ball, no restriction on bouncer, and some of them played with front foot rule. Back foot rule. Back foot rule and uncovered wickets.
Yeah. Yes.
So, and no restriction on bouncer. The fast bowlers can bowl.
Yeah. No third umpires for all those.
No third umpires, nothing. Yeah. And no neutral umpires. What we have today.
Forget about third umpire. No neutral umpires.
No, what do you call the review. So, if they were great of their times, so you can't compare them with today's era.
Yeah.
If you want to compare them with today's era, let the today era batsmen bat with those equipments, what they played, or they bat without helmet. Let them bat without helmet.
It's a matter of
Then,
games.
then you can compare.
Right, absolutely.
So the pace attack at that time, forget about the number of bouncers. The pace attack at that time was aggressive, and there were many great fast bowlers during 60s and 70s and 80s. And today, there are not even 50% of that kind of fast bowlers today in today's cricket.
Yeah.
Now let them bat against those fast bowlers without no restriction on bouncer and without helmet. Then you can compare the batsman of that era with today's era.
What's your thought on Virat Kohli?
Virat is superb.
And I mean, when I was young and watching obviously Sachin Tendulkar and getting to the 100, I thought there's no way anybody can get there, right? Not even like kind of close. And Virat is lingering in that area, right? What's your thought? Do you think he'll get there?
No, he's
great.
a great player.
Yeah.
To become a legend, he has to do something bigger than what he has done so far, and he's close to that.
Yeah.
And he's very fit, very disciplined, disciplined lifestyle, and I think he has that hunger to perform. That hunger to perform is still there.
Yeah.
So that's
that hunger to perform. I mean, typically it can last for 5 years, 7 years, but these guys who are reaching this legend level status, their hunger to perform only increases with time.
Yeah, because they are passionate about the game. So when you're passionate about the game, the age doesn't matter. I'm into coaching now. I'm 68, and I have the same kind of passion because I love coaching. I love sharing knowledge, cricketing knowledge with youngsters. So it's a passion which keeps me on the field for 3 hours on the trot. So it's I'm enjoying it.
It's not it's great. I mean, I've seen you standing here for hours, coaching the kids, and you're still as fresh and energetic. That shows a lot about what passion can do.
No,
And for such a long time.
I do feel tired, but when I get into the bed, that's the time I start feeling something is aching here, and all those aches and pain comes when I'm sitting or going to bed. So, but when I'm up in the morning and on the ground again, I'm
back in action. Yeah. And you're traveling also, right? Here, right? From different cities, or how's your schedule?
Not much. I'll be going back to home in Toledo, and then I'll be going to Atlanta for a week. Then I'll come back, and by 20th I'll go to Bay Area for another week. I have some relatives there. I'll go and meet those relatives. I've not met them for nearly 50 years. Some of them.
Wow. It'll be fun.
It's a long time.
It'll be fun. A lot of catch up to do.
A lot of
all the way back from 70s till now.
Then.
Awesome. So, what's your next movie or that you're working on, or what's the next goal?
I've written 5 scripts.
Wow.
I've written 5 scripts, and with dialogues. I've written those, and it just started happening to me after 83. I used to get thoughts, and I was not knowledgeable enough to put them on paper, how to put them on paper. So when I came last year here, so I learned the art of putting it on paper.
Okay.
And putting it on in the screenplay format. So I got a software,
okay,
which and that was given to me
Okay.
free of cost.
Nice.
I forgot the name of the software, but it was given to me free of cost by an American company.
Okay.
I just wrote an email to them and they gave it to me.
Awesome.
And then I learned how to put it in that, and I started writing those scripts and
Are these-
dialogues and everything.
Are they sports-based
No.
themes or?
It's one is a thriller,
Okay.
one is a Punjaban girl caught getting married to a gay, and the problem starts. One is a corporate farming.
Corporate farming. Okay.
Because of the farm
Okay.
vegetation, I thought, what is the solution for that? And weave a story and present a solution for that.
Phenomenal
So
themes.
yeah, that's another thing. One is a village story. Now, just like a human being, village are not spoiled. But one village is not spoiled, just like a human being. They are innocent. But somebody from outside forces corrupt them. Corrupts human being. The situation corrupts them.
Yep.
The similar thing happens with the environment of that village also.
Okay.
Some outsider comes and corrupt them and make them fight among themselves, and they
Right.
make the village bad, and then again from the village, two persons, they stand up and they start sorting out all the things that was gone wrong, how they got corrupt, and how they whole environment was spoiled, and they start.
So these inspirations,
Building.
do they like occur to you as you, because you travel a lot, you meet a lot of people, listen to, so do certain aspects of it like inspire those?
No, it's just the thought comes, and once the thought comes, okay, when I'm walking, I get those ideas subconsciously. So then I keep writing it out.
Yeah. And that's why they always say, right, the failures teach you all those life.
Failure will teach you more how to become successful. But in a game, when you do well, when the team does well, the team have won because the opponent was not good enough to encash the mistakes that you made. So you got to analyze, even after winning, you have to analyze why you won and what are the mistakes you made when you have won the game. So you have made mistakes, but the opponent was not good enough to encash it. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So failure, you definitely, when the team doesn't do well, everyone is analyzing. But when you win, you still need
it.
to
And do they actually do? I mean, after your games and from what you have seen, how much of do you see a difference in the depth of analysis between a winning match and a losing match?
Yes, definitely. In when you win, you're doing everything right. You have exploited others.
But like post match, do you see players either for themselves and as a team, as a unit, do this analyze to the same extent to a winning match and a losing match?
It's not the player will not analyze why they won. It's the coach or support staff that has to bring to their notice that we made these mistakes even when winning. So those mistakes should not be made again in the next game. Maybe the opponent can exploit those mistakes.
Okay.
So it has to be brought to their notice, and there are some thinking player in the team who understand, who can analyze. But you have got you're not catering to thinking player. You're catering to non-thinking player.
Got it.
If they have to be on board,
Got it. Yeah.
thinking player will always be thinking.
Right.
Even if you tell them to think, but not to think, they will still
that's the
think.
thing, Yeah. The importance of leadership, like in a talented team, like our current Indian team, right, is just everybody is like just it's a World Cup winning team. Let's put it that way. We all saw it. The importance of leadership, right, on field and off field. What have you observed, and आपका क्या ख्याल है कि कैसा होना चाहिए, कि what's a मतलब prescription or
See, you need to have a good leader.
and what does it mean to be a good leader?
See, for Indians, it's Indian and Pakistanis has to be led from the front. Englishmen can be led from the back, like Mike Bearley. He was leading the team from the behind because he was not performing that well. But Indians, whoever is the captain, he's performing, he's leading, showing the way to play the game and showing the way how it should be played and how we can win it from the front. Indian and Pakistanis. And the same goes with
So
Australia.
that difference of leading from front or from the middle, from behind, is that driven through our culture, or how is, what do you think?
It can be driven through culture, or no, but what culture does the Australians have? It's all borrowed culture. Even
Fair.
Americans have a borrowed
It's
culture.
a mixed, yeah.
It's a mixed culture.
Yes.
It's a borrowed culture.
Yeah.
It's not. Americans is not a civilization. Australian is not a civilization. Indians is a civilization. UK is a civilization. Europe is a civilization.
Got it. Hear what you're saying. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then the culture will come in.
So
In America, most of them are migrants.
right.
It's a migrant country, and which have come together and through good leadership and through infrastructure, they're combining well, and they're one of the great powers of the world.
So in the sports context of like leading from front and ये जो difference होता है, which kind of has a cultural bearing to it, we can say, to generalize it, whether it's needed or not. But what is the right leadership? Anything that works, or is it a
See, end of the day, now your result will count. Whether you are leading from the behind or leading from the front, the result has to be there. Then only people will follow. Then only we can analyze whether this is a successful way or not a successful way.
So let me expand the question a little bit more. I'm very curious on this topic because if we take the leadership of our Indian cricket team in the 80s, let's take 83 World Cup, right? Kapil Paji's leadership, right? And Dhoni's leadership. Let's divide into four phases, right? Kapil Paji, Saurav Ganguly, right? Dhoni, right? And Kohli. And right now, Rohit, right? Do you see, I mean, they're all different personality coming in different types, not trying to compare by any means, but I'm just trying to say, you as an individual, do you think where do you think you would fit? Just keeping aside your...
See, I think now at that point of time, what talent you have. Now you can't make chicken masala, given them aloo gobi.
Okay.
A good chef can make aloo gobi taste like chicken masala, but
Fair.
it's still a aloo gobi. Now, the material that you have at that point of time under that leadership is also a big matters. Now in 83, Kapil was an instinctive captain.
Okay.
And he was leading from the front. So he was instinct captain, and he wanted to win. So the same cheese kept on rubbing on others also, and we started also. We wanted to win, so we went one game at a time. Okay, let's win one game at a time, and then kept on winning. And then we realized that we got a chance to reach semi-finals, and that's how it started.
Okay.
So we lost to West Indies second game. And Kapil played that brilliant inning of 175. Yeah? Amazing inning. I think one of the greatest innings that I have seen on a seaming wicket. On a seaming wicket.
As a comeback, as like a legend comeback.
Now, Kapil was more of an instinctive captain, not a conscious thinker. He was just on the spur of the moment, he'll do something and it worked. Yeah? But he is also smart. He knew the strength and weakness of each bowler and when to bring them. No.
Yeah.
And he had a good support of Gavaskar there,
Right.
who would come and give advice at the right time, tell him give some feedback, and Mohinder Amarnath to give him feedback. Okay, you can do this. When you're there, when we are in a at the crossroad of in a game, so they used to come and give inputs. So that helped, but then again, the captain has to make those decisions. Then, see, India have always done well when we had an aggressive captain.
Okay.
You take Kapil. Sunil didn't have that kind of team that Kapil had there. Then Sunil got a team what Kapil had in Benson and Hedges. He also won Benson and Hedges. Then Sunil went out. Then we were struggling for a few years. Then again we got into groove when Saurav Ganguly came in. He was again an aggressive captain. He used to back his player, and that's what is required. Like Kapil used to tell me, okay, Balu, you get एक wicket निकाल दे, तेरा काम हो गया. So he's given me a goal. At the same time, he showed that okay, I trust you that you will get that wicket. He believed in me. So I started believing in myself. Okay, this is what the captain wants. Okay, I'll look for wicket. So he was able to put me in the right frame of mind. The same thing happened with Ganguly. Ganguly put everyone in the same frame of mind, in a positive frame of mind, through his captaincy, through his interaction. Then came Dhoni. Dhoni may be looking very quiet behind, cool and calm, but he will come at the right time and give you a right advice at that time.
He's constantly thinking.
He doesn't show his expression. Ganguly was showing his expression.
Yeah.
Pleasure or displeasure. Dhoni is more like Mike Beerley type.
Okay. Got it. Leading from behind.
And maybe an Ashok Mankad, I'll say.
Okay.
Ashok Mankad was very that kind of thing. He was a good mentor. I had been mentored by him. Then came Virat. Virat is aggressive.
And the Punjabi guy is
aggressive, extrovert, everything big. But I think Dhoni, maybe he may not be as calculative as Virat. But we need that kind of exuberance on the ground. Then again came back Rohit. Rohit very close to Dhoni.
Okay.
In captaincy. Cool, calm. But there is certain time when he loses his temper. He shows his displeasure, which Dhoni never does. This guy shows sometime his displeasure. But he is very similar to...
So it's almost like Ganguly and Virat are on one type of leadership. Yeah. Dhoni and Rohit...
Similar type.
Similar type of leadership. That's great.
Kapil never showed his displeasure on the...
Okay.
Very rarely. He never used to get angry. He just want players to make an effort, give 100% effort, and after giving 100% effort, if he can't win, fine, okay, accept.
Yeah. Go and improve and come back. It's amazing. But it's been I have a lot more, but of course we can keep going and all those things. What's your final, I would say, advice, guidance to young players, right, who want to pursue the sport long term, right, for USA, right, since you're here?
See, I think first thing the parents should do is allow them to grow on their own feet. Allow them to make decisions. Now, for a young kid of say 14 years old, he should go and bowl pace, should bowl spin, he should go and do wicket keeping, He should bat. Fielding, he has to do it.
No.
He should bowl leg spin, off break, Chinaman, orthodox left arm spin, everything. Let them get exposure to all this. When they get around 16, they will shoot up, and maybe at that time, if he is grown tall, he can become a fast bowler, and if he loves to bowl fast, then he can get into the fast bowlers mold, or he can learn those skills. Now, allow them to grow and allow them to enjoy playing cricket. I find that here the parents, they did not get an opportunity to play cricket, so they want to live their dream through their kids.
That is very true.
And this is not going to happen. It should be his dream, his desire, his love for the game, not the he's playing for the parents. It's not his goal.
Sahi baat hai.
And if he fails, he will say, my parents has pushed me, that's why I failed. But when it is his desire, his goal, then if he fails, then he knows why he has failed, or why he has become successful. So we as parents, my father, I won my first Ranji Trophy finals. I bowled brilliantly. All newspaper headlines, Sandhu, Skittles, run through Delhi side, this, that, all the headlines. When I went home, your team did well.
Great.
Even the club games, you will come and watch all the games, but you will say only your team did well, your team didn't do well if you have lost. Then I made my debut in Test cricket. Again, he said the same thing. Okay, well done. Your team did well. And then went to West Indies. And when I came back, and after winning the World Cup, that is the first time he hugged me and patted my back. No words were spoken. So he kept me hungry for appreciation.
Yeah.
And that hunger was my motivation. To please him was my motivation.
Great advice,
So,
Paji.
I think we should not overpraise the kids for success and not run them down when they fail. They will fail, fine, okay.
Yeah.
It's a part of the game.
Especially in sports, it's all about that.
Yeah. Allow them to enjoy playing cricket and allow them to choose what they want to do.
Yeah.
Because end of the day, they are going to make decision out in the middle. They have to think on their own feet, out in the middle. So allow them, let them grow on their own feet.
Great advice. And we thank you so much for taking all this time to have this nice casual chat. We learnt a lot. And I think more people like you all come visit us here in the US. Slowly but steadily, we will try to keep the sport up and running.
I think America has a good chance of developing this game here. T20 will become popular with these kids. Even one day game can be popular because the time frame is what is important. A 3-hour game is fine. And today's kids, they don't have a span of, now even if they watch some music videos, it's a 30-second span.
Yeah, reels.
If you like 30-second, that's some music, they will watch more. But if they don't like, they'll swipe
it. Yeah. True.
So, I don't think Test cricket will be popular here. And cricket will take off only when the American kids starts playing.
100%, yeah.
When they start playing and the school starts playing, and maybe in school they should start tennis ball cricket to make it popular.
It's coming slowly. Slowly. It's coming.
And when the American starts playing, the American will come only when the money is big.
Yeah, that's the other thing in the US. Yeah.
American kids will come in. American, not
The local kids, yeah.
American local kids
Born
will
here,
come
yeah.
in
Yeah.
when the money is become big.
Yeah.
When somebody makes $1 million contract,
Yeah.
American kid is given a 1 million contract to play T20, then the whole American kids will come to this game.
It's going to happen soon. Yep. Hopefully. We'll keep the hopes alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good for the game.
Yeah,
because,
it's good for the game.
yeah,
It's spreading the popularity of the game. You never know which new
See,
talent will come from.
Soccer has done well.
Yeah.
You have done well in the World Cup.
Absolutely.
I think you reached
Yeah,
semi-finals.
we reached semis in one of those, yeah.
Even the women's
Women's soccer is actually more
popular
I think women's soccer has had more achievement. Than men's soccer.
because I saw them in 4 years back in Vancouver. I saw their game, soccer game in Vancouver.
Awesome. Great. Thank you.
And they are
Majid.
good.
Great talking.
Yeah.
You know,
Thanks.
it's been a
Thank you.
pleasure.